everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today I want to show you one of my favorite recipes. I love to make it not just for brunch or breakfast time, but even for supper time. It's a really great meal. It's very hearty and you can really substitute so many different kinds of vegetables, whatever you have on hand really. Today I'm going to show you how to make a simple mushroom and asparagus egg strata. So the recipe I'm going to show you today is a simple mushroom and asparagus egg strata. I also really like to add in a little bit of our salami meat. A little bit of things that we have left over in the refrigerator. I like to just put them all into this egg strata. It allows me to be able to use up our vegetables or meat that we have left over in the fridge, whether it be ham or a little bit of pork sausage, ground beef, or in our case, a little bit of salami. So I've already gone ahead and started with making the stovetop stuffing. So that's all finished and ready to go. Then we're going to scramble up 12 eggs, cut up some onion, cut up our asparagus, chop up some mushrooms, and then get them cooking in a little bit of butter in a pan. Okay, so I've got my stovetop stuffing already prepared, so I'm gonna set that aside. The next thing I'm gonna do is prepare this asparagus, and I'm just gonna chop it up. Some of this looks a little sad, so that's gonna go to the chickens. I like to cut this asparagus pretty bite-sized just because it is getting mixed in with the egg. And I want it to be easily something you can pick up with a fork, and it's not too long. Once this gets cooked up too, you can always chop it up a little bit finer. I'm just gonna add this to my pan. This is a really delicious way to use up a lot of eggs in one time. This recipe calls for 12, a full dozen of eggs, which is really nice because right now our ladies are laying overtime and we have a lot of eggs to use up. A touch of water. Okay, we're just gonna chop up an onion here. Onion just gives it a really nice flavor. And again, once this is cooked down a little bit in the pan, it will be easier to chop up too. A little bit more finer. While I'm here at the cutting board, I might as well just kind of rough cut some of these mushrooms too. Again, we want everything to be able to fit on a nice fork size. If you are not a mushroom fan, feel free to omit the mushrooms or onion or really any of the vegetables. This is sort of a really nice recipe where you can substitute so many different things and it will turn out wonderful. All right, let's just add these to the pan. Get those all cooking up. I like to add a little salt and pepper at this time to kind of season those vegetables. Put that on to let it cook for a little bit. So while we're letting our vegetables cook up, we're just going to scramble up some eggs. 12 eggs to be exact. And this is a really nice way to use up a lot of those spring eggs that are coming in. Now that our vegetables are softer, I can use my chopper here and really finely chop up these a bit more. I think those are done. cooked vegetables here and my 12 scrambled eggs here. One thing I'm going to do yet is add some of our leftover salami. This is the salami from a local meat shop that we love to frequent. It is our favorite. This is a garlic salami, so it has a lot of flavor and savoriness to it. We do have a few pieces left over, and I like to add it to just scrambled eggs too. It tastes really good, but it's really good in this Strata recipe. You could also substitute some ham, sliced ham, cubed ham, even ground beef or ground pork, ground turkey even. I'm just gonna add this since this is already cooked. I'm just gonna heat it up with the vegetables there. All right, and all we have to do next is add our eggs, our stuffing, our vegetables, and then we're gonna top it off with a little fresh shredded mozzarella. I've already sprayed my 9x13 pan here. And then we just add in our vegetables. Meat. I've also made this with spinach and mushroom or just spinach and cheese. You could do all meats. There's so many different great variations once you have this basic recipe down. Grate some mozzarella on top. I do usually about a 3/4 of a cup of this mozzarella. You can either leave that on top or you can fold it in just like that. Now, the fantastic thing about this recipe is that you could cover this with a saran wrap or a tin foil and put it in the refrigerator and let it kind of soak up and soak through the croutons of the stuffing and let everything kind of meld together overnight. And then you can put it in the oven straight away in the morning, or you can bake it up just like this. I'm doing this in the afternoon today, and I'm going to make this for supper, so I'm just gonna put a piece of saran wrap on the top and stick it in the refrigerator until it's time to bake. When we're ready to bake it, we're gonna bake it at 350 degrees for 35 minutes or until this is firm. You can see it is definitely not firm, and we wanna make sure that it's firm. I will often, as I'm trying to check this to see if it is done, take a fork into the middle and just make sure my fork comes out clean and is not wet when it comes out. I really like to make sure that this egg strata is done before I serve it up. And it's time to clean up, of course. Somebody has to clean up. Thanks so much for joining me today as we make this mushroom and asparagus strata. It's going to be a really tasty supper.
Can I smell it?
Sure. Look good for supper?
But does that have any mushrooms in it?
It does have mushrooms in it.
Mushrooms.
Fresh mushrooms too. Smell good?